So we're going to do Chovos halevovos, which is duties of the heart from Rabbeinu ibn Pekuda. Sixth gate. There's 10 gates. Their shaars. Their shaar in Hebrew, portal. We could say treatises. And this is chapter 5. How to acquire submission. If a man's mind is never empty of these matters, humility and lowness will cling to him, and he'll be saved of sin and stumbling, and the snares of arrogance, pride and haughtiness will keep far from him. 1. Reflect on coming from a drop of semen and being nourished in an impure, bloody womb, even with urine, etc., and knowing that it happens again at old age. 2. Seeing weakness, helplessness, and limitedness to protect the self from the cold, the heat, the hunger and thirst, sickness, and worries and accidents, etc., which we are like a prisoner who cannot protect himself from. And 3. Consider how fleeting life is, and losing all possessions and provisions in the grave, and how swift death is. Physical beauty signs vanish. Dead flesh brings worms, putrid, liquid decay, and rotting odor will exude like he never washed or scrubbed or used a fragrance. His face will be dimmed and darkened. 4. Contemplate the inadequacy of service and neglecting precepts and pleas and excuse. Cut short on the day of reckoning, he fell short, full of regret. 5. Contemplating the Creator's infinite might to observe one's inner and outer life. Seeing this, and then we look at the scholars, their strengths, and the prophets were even greater, but they bent and melted before the angels, and the angels who are greater bow before the Creator. We can intellectually see the sun, moon, stars, the celestial spheres and the earth, and all it has in it, the minerals, the plants, the animals, and humanity and earth and the lunar sphere, and then the lunar sphere and the cosmos, and then everything, and then the Creator's greatness is greater than all of that. So basically, humanity is greater than human, and earth is greater than humanity. The lunar sphere is greater than earth, and the cosmos are greater than the lunar sphere, and Creator's greatness is greater than everything. We can read the prophets' books and see great punishment meted out to the arrogant, proud, and God's great protection over the humble, the lowly. We can observe people's changing situations, and this is number 7, and swift changing of governments and rulers and passing of people from one condition to another, and the fall of one nation promoting the rise of another. And that the end of all is death, so that nothing worldly is really trustworthy or prideworthy. And we're going to continue now in chapter 6. So, how the submitted should conduct himself. Recognizing the infinite greatness of the Creator and his exalted omnipotence, supreme wisdom, and his good attributes, the higher qualities that he bestowed upon man over all living creatures. 2. From Mishlei 25:6. Mishlei is written by King Solomon. Mishlei Proverbs 25:6. Do not glorify yourself before a king. Okay, number 2. Know the duties ordained by the Torah, and that reason teaches us. Gain wisdom from reason. Written law, oral law, to learn the conditions for humility. 3. Cultivate a broad heart to bear patiently words and deeds that one hates, for the sake of Hashem, and not retaliate, respond to insult or humiliation. 4. Do good to others, speak well of them. Judge favorably, not speak their faults. Forgive them when they speak badly of him, even if they don't deserve this. Habitually, we habituate our tongue to speak only good. 5. Humility in all worldly matters, public and private, active and resting, speech and deed. That interior doesn't contradict exterior, nor the hidden matters contradict the revealed matters. Behavior should be weighed, proper, and harmonious. Consistent, all going in the spirit of submission and humility. And consistent, all go, and I think this topic today is about consistency and submission. So consistency, all going in the spirit of submission and humility to God, and also human beings in accordance with each person's merits and the good he benefits from them in religious and secular matters. 6. One's esteem be high, and one's desire great for the matters of the next world, not just take what comes or feel he did enough. Striving higher, doing more, strengthen to add. So, how the Semitic should conduct himself. That his deeds, we're continuing, that his deeds be little in his eyes. 7, that his deeds be little in his eyes, and he should complain to himself over his shortcomings in the fulfillment of his religious duties to God and to his fellow men, praying to God for help and strength, and for God's sake should renounce or put aside all personal pride, dignity, and haughtiness. While performing any religious service, whether alone or with people, the Creator obligated Aaron to take out the ashes every day in order to lower and remove pride from his heart. 8, he should be contented with whatever means of livelihood present themselves, and whatever he finds, because he regards himself as insignificant and of little worthy, accustoming himself to abstain from gratifying bodily desires in order to be free to pay his duties to God for his many favors and his goodness. And I want to read that one again. 8, he should be contented with whatever means of livelihood present themselves, and whatever he finds, because he regards himself as insignificant and of little worth, accustoming himself to abstain from gratifying bodily desires, in order to be free to pay his duties to God for his many favors and great goodness. Okay. 9, to exact vengeance from the wicked for the honor of the Creator. Let one not be enticed on account of his own practice of forgiving others in matters that only affect himself, to also forgive them in matters of God, or to forgive those who speak against his prophets, pious and treasured ones. So let's say you forgive everybody because you say, look, I'm humble and unworthy. Don't forgive them on behalf of God. Like, oh, okay, God will be okay that you speak against his prophets, his pious, his treasured ones. Likewise, let one not conduct himself in his personal way of forgiving others when he sees a man oppressing another man. Oh, but, let me forgive him. Rather, come to the rescue of the oppressed, help to free them. And this, included in this, is about teaching others the service of God. So this is a type of submission, is to teach others the service of God, rebuke them, make them feel shame, and exhort them on the good, warn them on the evil, forcefully, and by word of mouth to the extent of his ability, and be swift to exact punishment that God commanded to administer to one who is guilty. And 10, he should speak little and in a low voice, laugh little, seldom take an oath in the name of God, even if what he swears is true. No falsehood should come out of his lips. He should not sit in the company of men engaged in laughter and idle talk, nor delight in the worldly things that ignorant people delight in. He should act like this out of submission and lowliness of spirit, not out of arrogance and pride. Okay, we're going to stop here. All the best. Bye-bye.